we've done. Back in 1993, when the movie came out, we actually had a grant from the National Science Foundation to attempt to extract DNA from a dinosaur. And we chose the dinosaur on the left, a Tyrannosaurus rex, which was a very nice specimen. And one of my former doctoral students, Dr. Mary Schweitzer, actually had the background to do this sort of thing, and so she looked into the bone of this T-Rex, one of the thigh bones, and she actually found some very interesting structures in there. They found these red circular looking objects, and they looked for all the world like red blood cells.
Okay, well, we're happy to pay the expense of having a lab do the test in addition to the $10,000 to the museum.
Do you know how carbon-14 works?
Yeah, I'm familiar, and I realize it's useless for anything over maybe 50,000 years or so. But I've done a talk show in Denver for 15 years, and there's a group of folks interested in science. Of course, that discovery caught their attention, and they thought, well, it'd be logical to do this, to just go ahead and do it, even though nobody would be inclined to do it, just like nobody would be inclined to look for soft tissue inside of a T-Rex.
The Triceratops head horn that you guys found and are bringing out. So this dinosaur, this Triceratops dinosaur, this was in the wrong layer according to their geological time charts.
When are they ever in the right layer, Trey?
Jack, is the amount too small that it's just not worth the consideration?
No, that's not it.
Okay. What if I were able to raise more money?
No, the amount of money has nothing to do with it.
A biology professor, Gregory Erickson, and he said, I'm looking at these teeth. They're 70 million years old. Now, he believes that.
The Lacoste family, their ranch, this is more than 85,000 privately owned acres. This is a sizable chunk of the dinosaur-rich land surrounding Dinosaur National Monument in Colorado, where the dinosaurs are all tangled up together exactly like what you would find as the deposit from a global flood, which, by the way, the Hell Creek Formation, where Jack Horner found his T-Rex, the same kind of thing. You've got dinosaurs crumpled up in there exactly like a flood deposit. It's not just littered with enormous dinosaurs, creatures that couldn't even live in today's atmosphere or ecological system, but more than that, they pull stuff out of the ground there that even has NASA guys scratching their heads.
But one of the guys was walking, and in the road was a little washway, and he looked down and found this allosaur tooth. And what we're so excited about is, hopefully going back in May, this one has friends, right? If there's a skull up there, there are more of these. It's about, I keep forgetting how long this thing is, Trey, but it's almost, or either the largest one found or a tie for the largest allosaur tooth ever found.
But they're not. They're only thousands of years old. He says they're far more sophisticated than today's most accomplished grazers. And they're so well preserved, if we had a living dinosaur, I could put this in his mouth and it would probably still work.
A cover picture from American Laboratory. I submitted a picture of the soft tissue to them. They put it on the cover, and so the department promoted it within the department in our department newsletter. So everybody knew about the work that I was doing. And I got emails from some of the professors saying, great work, Mark, keep it up, keep up what you're doing. But then one day, this professor stormed into my lab. In fact, he couldn't get into my lab because my lab had an Omnicode lock, which required punching in a sequence of numbers. And so many faculty members did not have access to my laboratory. So he was pounding on the outside door. So I opened the outside door, and he stormed in, and he said, we're not going to tolerate your religion in this department.
And these soft tissue finds are becoming more and more prevalent in dinosaurs. And they can't fire everybody. And following suit with that, also can't rebury every dinosaur that comes out of the dirt.
So the tree tangled up with the dead dinosaurs has no tree rings. And that would tend to indicate, what's implied there is that whatever time period this was from, there weren't seasons, at least like we know them today.
Yeah.
Is would that be sort of the?
That's absolutely what I'm saying. I mean, you just got to look at this with an open mind. You know, put the millions and zillions of years away.
And he's the one that terminated me about a week or so after my paper was published online.
So from apparently this man's, and you were fired at that point,
yes, I was
directly
fired.
following this. So apparently it sounds like from his view, to say that the dinosaur was old would be science, but to release data that would indicate it was young, that would be religious.
And I didn't even state anything about the implications in the paper. I merely reported.
That's an interesting point. You didn't even state implications. You just stated this is what we found.
Correct.
Because carbon-14 doesn't work on something like this,
Right.
your results that you get could be all over the place.
Well, they should be infinity. It should be not datable. In other words, it shouldn't come back saying it's 25,000 years old.
Right.
It should be infinity.
Let me tell you where I'm coming from here.
Sure.
All right. Obviously, your group is a group of creationists,
Yes.
and the spin they can get off of it,
Right.
doing it, is not going to help us.
Yeah. So even though it's just a scientific test, they're not asking for voodoo.
It's not actually a scientific test. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Carbon-14 dating something with soft tissue in it.
Dinosaurs are young. All of them. Of course, you already knew that.